Uganda is among the least developed countries. North and northeast of the country are underdeveloped. Why? The over 20-year political strife in the north and northeastern Uganda left families poor and food insecure. The over 40 years of systematic cattle rustling from the KARAMOJA, prolonged drought and torrential flooding, which left many in need of food and livelihood, especially in TESO sub-region. Structural breakdown of most infrastructure, retarded development. Communities relied on humanitarian support for survival. Government and non-state actors were up to rescue the sick and hungry. Today, with relative peace in these regions, much effort is put on sustainable livelihood activities. There are mechanisms by the population to return to sustainable agricultural production. Food insecurity and poor incomes affect development in these regions. Government and non-state actors were up to rescue the sick and hungry.
We were given the knowledge on convene and conversing, and helped us with the tools to be used. We were sent to the villages in the community where we work.
Our entry point to these communities is that we go to them, we mobilize them, we train them, we bring them together to discuss, dialogue on the challenges that they are facing.
These non-government organizations operate under a regulated environment by government, but with the guidance of the national umbrella body, Uganda National NGO Forum.
Our participation was to look at how do we ensure that the civil society organizations in these three districts are able to understand the laws that govern them, but also the other stakeholders in government who work with them to enforce these laws are able to appreciate how to work with civil society.
In the regions of TESO, KARAMOJA and LANGO, there are humanitarian agencies who have been helping communities in need of relief. Today, many of these civil society organizations have shifted to sustainable livelihood and development activities. Food security and household incomes are a major focus to vulnerable persons in society, women, youth and persons living with disability. They want a holistic and sustainable food security to improve household incomes through agricultural value chains.
We really look forward to see the district establishing agro-input shops that can help farmers access these inputs at a very smaller distance. And so some of those has cost farmers a challenge.
With the time framework 2016 to 2020, the Interchurch Organizations for Development Cooperation, a Netherlands-based NGO, is supporting selected civil society organizations to promote advocacy for social change and inclusion of communities in improved agricultural productivity, proper education, nutrition, and marketing for better livelihoods. They focus on land acquisition for production, availability of quality planting materials, post-harvest and market access, especially for women, youth and persons living with disability in the region. In TESO sub-region, the Civic Engagement Alliance is working with Church of Uganda TESO Diocese Planning and Development Office and the Pentecostal Assemblies of God.
We want to see communities that are empowered and are able to challenge the status quo in terms of accessing land, but also in terms of accessing quality inputs.
But the first priority is food security at household, and this when the excess, that's when you can be able to send to the market. So that knowledge needed to be stirred up with the farmer.
Ogerak Farmers Association is in Atate village, Bugondo sub-county in Kasilo County in Serere district. Farmers have trained on techniques on food security. They market produce through Ogerak Farmers Association and own a grain store constructed with support from Bag Soroti.
Apotapedo si emurkikini kwape tungalotela Bugondo We united as the people of Bugondo Parish, the farmers basically, and we sought ways on how we're going to help ourselves get liberated from poverty. And one of the things that was remaining for us was to utilize our land to produce crops that we could bulk and sell to make money. So in that training, they also got a chance to receive the store for bulking from PAG.
In Kateta sub-county in Serere district is Kanyangan Agricultural Food Security Cooperative Society with over 60 households. The group collects maize, cassava and millet. They are targeting a food-secure community.
Now, one of the problems they identified as small-scale farmers at that time when the training was going on was the hunger that was affecting everybody and affected production. In the ranking and the voting they carried out, hunger at that time got 70, 90.
Climate change remains a problem to farmers as many have not adapted to climate-smart agriculture. These farmers in Ngora district suffered armyworm infestation and lost all the maize. They are now adapting to kitchen vegetable gardens for nutrition.
There are our small gardens around the home compound. A kitchen garden. So this one is called the kitchen garden.
Members have been trained on sustainable vegetable growing.
So out of the knowledge he learned from the group as a learning center, that knowledge he took it home to practice home. So there was a land the father had given him. So it took that knowledge and he practiced growing vegetables, tomatoes, onions, cabbage, eggplant and sukuma.
With the support from Church of Uganda, TEDO, Saroti, the group has constructed a shallow well which they use to irrigate their gardens.
So nowadays it has become so easy. Even if they go to the garden, they don't again have that worry that after garden you're really very tired. Then you're supposed again to go for water.
This project also empowers women on self-sustenance, starting from the kitchen. They have been trained on making energy-saving cooking stoves for them to conserve the environment.
You can also sit there because it's not hot, because the insulators are inbuilt there, which keeps heat inside. Even he puts things for frying her food there, but you can see and the fire cannot catch.
In Abim district, smallholder farmers have been trained on seed quality, agricultural technologies and post-harvest handling. In Morlem sub-county, Adea cassava farmers have over 40 acres of cassava. The Arid Land Development Program, ADP, and Share an Opportunity Uganda, SAO Uganda, have trained and linked farmers to new markets.
Right now he says for him he has been, the matter of drying has not been a problem. They peel it and then they spread it on carpets, tarpaulins, and then later on the dried ones they are able to store. But this cannot be done during rainy season. Through constant dialogue with the different deal cassava producers and buyers, they have been able to come into an agreement. The dealers were giving them at a rate of 1,300.
The Civic Engagement Alliance communities in Abim district advocate for quality seed, increased land for production and access to markets.
What ADP can do is to link you, the farmers, to the input dealers. The input dealers who have reputable record or history of producing quality seeds.
In Abim district, land acquisition for agriculture for vulnerable groups, the youth, women and persons with disability remains a question. The political aspect is not sorted out yet. The wrangles and boundaries between NAPAC Amuria and Abim affects development programs. NGOs need to work smoothly.
Because people from here are not in good terms with the other people from Morlem, and Morlem is not in good terms with the people here. At times when me as an individual, when mobilize people from here, when a meeting is supposed to take place in Adaya, people here from here will never go there.
It's been trying her best to see it that such disputes will be put to an end, whereby they could come and organize meetings here and pick some people also to go and join their brothers whom they have a dispute with.
But however, as the organization, we are not just keeping quiet. We have to collide with the councillors and other stakeholders from here to see that at the end of it all, we want people live in harmony with each other.
Nevertheless, communities in other areas of KARAMOJA are settled on the land, producing and selling food.
They are sensitized and they are aware of these three value chains that will be linked to the market.
Since the NGOs came here on the sub-county, they start going with the house on parishes, on villages, sensitizing people concerning this badly selling of food, and they tell us that they are now looking for the market.
In LANGO sub-region, Lira district, the Civic Engagement Alliance consortium is supporting facilitation for peace and development, FEB, an NGO based in Lira district. In Anyaku village, Agari sub-county, is Grace Akelo, a widow, whose land has been taken away by her late husband's relatives. A member of the Agali Mixed Farmers Association, Akelo is now building a permanent housing structure from the cassava and maize she harvested from the farm.
She got the idea because she has been living in these grass-thatch houses, but it has become very expensive for her to maintain the grass-thatch houses. So she decided just to put this one so that it is permanent.
FEB is also addressing seed quality, increased food production and nutrition. During community platforms, the leaders are tasked to address community challenges.
They are trying also as Farmers Forum to engage sub-county leadership to further continue, like having constant conversations or engagement with members of the coordinators of Operation Wealth Creation, because the quality of inputs they deliver and then also the timing is not really so appropriate.
Local leaders and elders have formulated ordinances to address food security problem.
As regards to fake seeds, and once you're caught, you penalize. We're in the process of ensuring also our farmers are also safeguarded in regards to produce. It is in the process now in the Attorney General's office to have that ordinance also passed as regards with produce.
What we are trying to advise the farmers: buy the seed from the agents, especially the agents that are based in some places, in shops. Because now when you buy from the market, anybody can brand.
On the overall, it will require the stakeholders to engage policymakers to integrate the whole development agenda for all the people of Uganda.
Because when you go to a clinic, it is when you are sick and they treat you. So what we are trying to achieve in the compliance clinics is we shall just take like a sample of organizations in Lira and we do compliance audit in the organization to just understand how have you complied with the law, have you tax returns, are they on track?
So many people now say, okay, you are talking about access to land. Supposing you access land, we get the seed, are you able to give us water so that we produce sustainably for food security? Because the region is now affected by climate change.
And we want to really think that this year the success stories will be more.